Good evening, my darling batlings. We got arms tonight. I've got malevolent arms composed of many evil fingers. Okay, I'm joined tonight by JKR, and Chuck's going to be joining a little bit later.
Yep.
And, yeah, we're doing some more Mega Man Legends tonight. Feeling like doing some PS1 goodness. Still on entering Castle Orlok. You're a bit behind, then.
Oh.
Also, hi, Kier.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stream right now. It's up and running.
That sounds like a you problem, Kier.
Hey, yep.
So, yeah, without further Mountain Dew, well, first of all, not going to be as many streams this week, because I will be going out of town for a day or two for a big family get-together. Not often that I get to see my extended family, so it's going to be a lot of people I do not fucking know. But hey, I get to see my dad and my little sister.
And that's always a plus.
Yeah. And I finally get to give my dad his fucking Father's Day gift that he didn't pick up when he came to see me for Father's Day. So it's just been sitting here for like 2 months now. So it'll be nice to finally get that taken care of, because it bothers me sitting there taking up space with no way to get it to him. Hope she's doing well. She just got over having COVID again. But other than that, she's doing well. It's hard to believe that she's getting ready to be a junior in high school. I'm still having trouble grasping that image.
They grow up so fast, I swear.
Yes. Anyways. Exactly, Kier. My back!
Mm-hmm.
And once again, we're playing this on actual hardware. I could easily emulate this, but for PS1, for Mega Man Legends, I like to play it as they intended, which is with 240p graphics on a PS1 with a PS1 styled controller, although this is a wireless one by Retro Fighters. You should pick it up if you have a PS1 or a PS2. It's a really good wireless option that only costs $50. It's called the Defender. And it also has a dongle for working with PC and PS3. The only thing you don't get for PS3 compatibility is the tilt sensors, but they have an upgraded version that does have those. I just haven't picked that up yet.
Covered by endless water.
Quick question for you. Goatee or no goatee?
Small patches of land that
no goatee? I don't really grow out my facial hair ever.
The people of this
That's fair. I was
rely on
What's it called again? It's called the Retro Fighters Defender.
A powerful energy source. These refractors lie in ancient,
and it comes in multiple colors that the classic PS1 controllers came in. I got the translucent blue one because that was the color of the first PS1 controller I got.
Nice.
That I still have. The vibration doesn't work anymore, but the controller does.
Originally, this was the digger's only purpose. To find refractors so that
also, as a big thing for PS2 compatibility, yes, it has the pressure-sensitive buttons, which almost no third-party PS2 controllers have. So you can properly play games like Ratchet & Clank and Metal Gear Solid.
The Mother Lode, a treasure so great that if it were discovered,
Which is
provide
so
much
storm
power
again.
that the world never need fear running out of energy. Seeking this Mother Lode.
And if you want to pick it up and support me, I've fixed my referral link for Stone Age Gamer. They sell those on there because they're officially partnered with Retro Fighters, so you can pick it up there for the same price that's on Amazon, and I'll get a little kickback from it.
Power.
Nice. Ow.
Who can say?
You can also pick up all of Retro Fighter's other controllers there. They've got their wireless Dreamcast controller. They've got a selection of wireless Nintendo 64 controllers, both compatible with the original N64 and ones meant for the Switch. They've got wireless GameCube controllers that have the Rumble feature, which almost no wireless GameCube controllers have, not even the official one.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's on Stone Age. And if you have any technical problems with it, then Stone Age is real. They've got the best customer service I've ever used. They're real fast to respond, and they're real good on, like, giving you refunds for defective stuff.
Nice.
Which, I've only had that happen once, but they were quick to refund me for the purchase.
Nice.
Also, feature of this controller I like specifically for Crash Bandicoot 1. It maps analog stick inputs to the D-pad in non-analog compatible games, so you don't have to play Crash Bandicoot 1 with the D-pad. I know I sound like a shill, but I promise I'm not sponsored. I just really... Well, I'm affiliated with Stone Age Gamer, but I'm not sponsored by Retro Fighters. I just really like their stuff.
Give me one moment, let me close the door so Widget Spartan doesn't get to me.
I really need to get a controller prop for that's VNyan compatible, so I can have myself holding a controller while I'm playing these things. I'm sure there's plenty out there. I just haven't picked one up yet.
Fair.
You might take all the clips of me praising it. I mean, at least I'm shilling for a product that I actually use, and I'm not being paid to shill for. It's not like I'm, you know, shilling for Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh,
Something
yeah.
that I will never play, and I can guarantee that only a single person I've seen who was ever sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends actually plays Raid Shadow Legends, and even then, he only plays it for the meme. And that would be Quentin Reviews. He plays it and is one of the top-ranked players in the world, just so he can say, I'm the top-ranked player in Raid Shadow Legends. Not because he actually likes the game. It's like this one streamer that Magic Mush put out a video about where he has like something like 11,000 hours dedicated to playing Bubsy 3D. Or that guy who like does nothing but stream speedruns of Garfield Kart. You're gonna send it to them, too. Oh, please. Please do. I would love to be sponsored by their stuff. Since I bought plenty of their controllers. If only they came out with a wireless version of their, Sega Saturn controller that's also compatible with the Sega Genesis. That would be perfect. I have the, Retrobit Sega wireless Saturn controller with analog sticks, and it's really good, but, the form factor doesn't really make for good analog sticks. It's more like tiny little analog nubs like you had on the PSP, for example. And that doesn't give you the greatest range of movement for 3D games, but it does the job. And for a while, with the retro USB Sega Saturn controller, I was, oh god, I forgot about this guy. Shit. Boss jump scare. Anyways, I was skeptical about their Sega Saturn controller having 2 analog sticks, because I was like, there's not any dual analog games on the Sega Saturn. There's barely any analog games on the Sega Saturn. But then I actually got a hold of it and tried it out with one game that is notoriously hard to play without a very specific controller. I'm like, oh, it's for Virtual On, which was built around dual joysticks. and plays like shit with just the standard Sega Saturn pad. They put dual analog sticks on there just for that one game. So you don't have to search for the increasingly expensive and rare dual joystick controller that was only made for Virtual On.
Oh, good.
My only complaint with is that it's a little tricky to get to switch from Sega Saturn mode to PC mode, because every time there's a button combo you have to do to make the switch happen, but I've only gotten it to work by having to, like, hit the tiny little reset button, you know, those tiny little reset buttons that so many things have, where it's like a little thing you have to hit with a pin, or like a safety, or like a pen, or anything tiny like that.
Right.
I have to hit that first, and then it'll properly switch modes. Also, Kier, I unintentionally found a reason to pick up that new Bubsy Remastered Collection coming out, I think, next year, over the Bubsy Twofer pack that's on Steam. And it's that the Bubsy Twofer pack on Steam, which includes Bubsy 1 and 2, it doesn't work with more modern Xbox controllers, even with Steam controller input turned on. I don't know why. It should work out of the box. There's no, like, to my knowledge, there's no, like, hardware reason for why it wouldn't work with those. Like, it works with Xbox One controllers, but not Xbox Series controllers, which are the only ones that are being sold right now. At least as far as first-party Xbox controllers go. I don't go third-party on a lot of stuff unless it's, Retro Fighters, of course, or, like, you know, something that offers something that's not in the, first-party controller. You haven't had any troubles with your 8-bit do, at least? Yeah, 8-bit do is, 8-bit do is like, the premium wireless controller brand out there, but they limit themselves to only, like, 8-bit and 16-bit consoles, as well as, like, Super Nintendo-styled pads for use with modern consoles. They don't make stuff for the PS1. I don't think they make anything for the N64 either. They definitely don't make anything for the Saturn. They have a really good wireless Genesis pad that I have, and I've got their wireless Super Nintendo pad, and that's also fantastic. Like, if there's any one complaint that I had to have about Retro Fighters wireless controllers, or just their controllers in general, it's that they use a more Xbox-style form factor for a lot of their stuff. So, playing PS1 games and PS2 games that heavily use the L1 and R1 buttons feels a little bit weird, because it's got, you know, the more bumper-styled buttons instead of the PlayStation-styled R1 and L1 buttons. It's got the L2 and R2 as triggers, which really good for PS3 games. Feels a little weird for PS1 and 2. And also, the D-pad on the Defender is not the greatest. It feels better than the stock PS1 D-pad that was so stiff. But registers diagonals really easily. Sort of like the Switch Pro controller, but not as mushy. You hope I get sponsored with Retro Fighters and you with 8-Bit Dough. I would love to be sponsored by either. Retrobit I'm a little bit hesitant on because while their Sega Saturn controller was great, I have spent way too much money on their Sega Genesis controllers that have the official Sega branding and are like styled after the 6-button pads. And every time, without fail, they work for like a week perfectly out of the box, and then they start having issues. Mostly with the start button not being registered when you press it, unless like you press it down really hard with your fingernail. And like some of the games having spotty input reading with like the A button or the C button or like certain D-pad directions. Just stay away from their wired Sega Genesis controllers. They're $15, but they're $15 for a reason. Like, if you're willing to pay just a little bit more, you can get the wireless Genesis pad from 8-Bit Dough for like $30. And that has much better build quality. It's a 6-button pad, so you get like full compatibility with the whole library. Has a good battery life, has good reach. Updatable firmware. Hey, Shadow Dragon.
Howdy Roo.
Hello, Baloo, and howdy do. Musty prawns and Timbuktu. I can't remember how that whole rhyme goes, but the beginning of it lives rent-free in my head as one of my favorite things from Courage the Cowardly Dog. The episode was Demon in the Mattress.
Oh, jeez.
I used to say that to my childhood dog Snowball all the time, and it would, like, make her get real riled up and start playing with me.
Aww.
Or rather, I would say it like Courage says it, which is like, rowdy, rowdy, rowdy. And she would, like, start trying to play bite me.
Aww.
At least when she was a puppy, she would do that. She stopped doing that as she got older.
Boo.
Probably won't be on stream for too long since Black Myth Wukong is going to be available. I forgot that game was coming out. I thought it was already out. Have fun with that. That's the one that's like Souls-like and themed after Journey to the West, right? If I remember correctly. It's some sort of like hack and slash game. I just can't remember if it's like a Devil May Cry styled one or a Souls-like. I just assume Souls-like because Souls-likes are in fashion. So yeah, taking a little breather from progressing the story to explore some of the optional ruins. Because they have a lot of cool treasures in them. Which are tied to a side quest.
Nice.
Also, you see this big wall here that's obviously breakable, but I don't have the thing to break it yet.
Oh, yeah.
This is the cool thing about Mega Man Legends 1's ruin design that I prefer over Mega Man Legends 2. Since the whole game takes place on one island, once you get the ability to break down these walls that you find in like the expanded areas of each ruin, you find out that every single dungeon in the game is interconnected.
Oh, wow.
Which makes sense.
Right. That makes sense.
I mean, it makes sense why they didn't do that in Legends 2, because that one had multiple ruins spread across different islands instead of it all being on the same island.
Yeah.
Also, Second Wind put out a started a new docu-series today about games that have sort of been left behind or lost to time, and the inaugural episode was about Mega Man Legends. Haven't watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little bit hesitant to support too much of Second Wind because there's a lot of drama going on between them. Basically, like, he said, she said stuff between former member Frost of Cold Take and Chronicle. And the rest of the founding members denying what he said. Like, I'm kind of inclined to side with Frost on some things he said that he at least provided receipts for. Especially since Second Wind decided to post their response on Patreon instead of somewhere more publicly available, and didn't provide any receipts for their claims. It was just more of like a trust me bro thing. Not as bad as the Channel Awesome response, mind you. But
yeah, still could have done better.
It seemed more like personal beef between between Second Wind's founder got THX'd. Hi Lulu. Hi Proto. Sorry I didn't show up to the stream, Proto. Oh god, so many redeems going on all at once. Yeah, Proto, I'm sorry I missed your stream. I really wish I could have, you know, contributed to your emergency fund that you were raising for. It's just I'm in the negatives right now, so I couldn't if I wanted. I couldn't even though I want to. But also, I wanted to make it clear to you, Proto, that you don't have to worry about posting going live announcements in my server, because I've already got you added to my list of people that the stream bot announces streams for. So you're all good. So you replace the blast unit with... Okay, do we go for... I'm thinking we, yeah, we replace both of these with, the laser and the sniper range. We'll get a part later that allows us to equip a third buster unit that'll really help even things out. But right now we've got, like, really high attack power and really high range, which is going to be really helpful for the next boss fight. Jane Doe is thick from ZZZ. I haven't seen Jane Doe yet, because I've been kind of... I haven't been playing ZZZ as much as I want to lately. Just, like, I've been so lethargic, because I've been fucking up my sleep schedule. And ZZZ, I like to... It's a game that I can't just play for a couple minutes. I have to dedicate a part of my day to it.
Yeah. That's definitely one of those games you have to do that.
Get in there. There we go.
This feels wrong not to do it.
Yeah, it feels wrong to not kick the can into the bakery every time you go by there.
What I meant. I was talking.
They gave her thigh jiggles, so... Okay, so, Koei Tecmo, with your Dead or Alive games, the ball is in your court, because Hoyoverse is beating you on the, fan service jiggle. Nice to see. You can see that they're, repairing all the buildings that were destroyed that I donated to the, recovery fund for. That's something cool that I like, is that the repairs happen in real time. Or at least, you know, while you're playing.
Right.
Because, you know, PS1 doesn't have a built-in clock like the PS2 later would.
Right. I love this music.
Yeah, the whole soundtrack to this game is phenomenal. Really underrated as far as PS1 soundtracks go.
Like, I remember as a kid, whenever I was playing this game, I'd be doing exactly what I was just doing. Just
One of my favorite things to do in this game when I was a kid was just run around exploring the city. This was the first game I played that felt like an actual place that could exist, like a real lived-in world.
Nice.
Alright, so since we beat the first ruins, we're going to be heading to, I believe it's the west side of this? I get the west and east sides confused a lot.
How about go west?
Yes, it's the west side. Because this is where we're gonna get a boat.
Ooh. A boat, you say?
We're gonna get a boat from a descendant of one of the classic series characters. Also, we can enter the TV show contest, which gets us some parts to build new things. And of course, there's the museum side quest that starts here. This is one of my favorite things where you can be an asshole, but I never like to be an asshole. It's like, what does this painting need? Some red or some talent? If you say some talent, it locks you out of the entire museum side quest.
Oh, jeez, yeah. That actually is incentive not to be an asshole.
I'm fresh out of red, which is why I haven't been using it, but I suppose it is a little drab. But there's nothing wrong with this colder look either.
Okay, so like I am not a painter. But I'm pretty sure the thing we're going to use as red paint for that painting is not something that any painter worth their salt would use, even out of desperation.
Huh.
But basically, you remember the dress shop where the cashier hit on Mega Man?
Vaguely, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember now.
One of the first places I went to once we got to Cadillacs Island. We're gonna have to visit her.
Oh, no.
But first, we gotta kick the can.
Of course.
I've got to build back up my darker armor. I've been doing too many good deeds.
Of course! Don't you know anything about science?
Alright, there's the dress shop. Hi there, Mega Man. Are you looking for something? Red chalk for drawing? I didn't know you were an artist. We don't have any red chalk, but we've got some red lipstick. Would that do? Really? You mean it? Okay then. Here, I'll give you mine. I'm sorry, I've already used it a little. Oh, don't worry about paying me. I'm just glad I could help you, Mega Man. See you later. You got lipstick. Yeah, I don't think that any painter would use lipstick as paint unless they're specifically going for a painting that's not using any traditional, like, oil or acrylic or any other kind of, you know, more traditional paint.
Yeah.
Then again, I'm not a painter. I don't know. I've worked with watercolors before. I've done paint by numbers. I've done finger painting. I've spray painted stuff.
Yeah, same. But never actually, like, I only paint what already has detail, and I just try and pick out what I can with the tiniest of brushes. And that's, like, very
Oh, and I've done face painting, but I'm very bad at it. At least
Yeah.
face painting myself.
Yeah. I mean, I've
Like, if I were doing something simpler, like, I want to do a Joker cosplay, but, like, find a specific Joker to cosplay, probably the Arkhamverse design.
yeah.
But, the face painting I've been practicing is for a cosplay I've been wanting to do for, like, the past decade of Krauser from Detroit Metal City. And it's hard to do, like, very specific patterns of black and white paint, like Kiss-style face paint, on yourself when you have a tremor.
Yeah, that's fair.
And when you don't have good brushes and your paint is, like, you know, a decade old.
Yep. That's no good.
Oh, you're back. Hmm? What's that? Hey, could I borrow that?
Perfect time to play this since Capcom decided to announce Mega Man to be in Funko Fusion. Capcom will do everything with Mega Man except make a new game.
That's it.
Yep.
That's perfect. That's exactly what it needed. Thank you so much.
And, like, I got into a little bit of discourse about this on Twitter last time I went on there, which was a couple weeks ago. And it seems people were taking my side on it, which is this guy that was like, Mega Man fans complain too much because it's not even Capcom's most neglected series, because it still gets re-releases in merch. I'm like, yeah, we know it's not its most neglected series. It gets the most attention for its neglect because it's their fucking mascot. It would be like if Disney decided to shelve Mickey Mouse for everything except for merchandise.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think he knew what the hell he was talking about.
Like, I agree with him that's not their most neglected franchise. I can think of 10 franchises that are in worse states than Mega Man. Mega Man's just the most frustrating because they pretend to care about it. Like, at the latest investors shareholder meeting, whatever, they were asked about future plans for Mega Man, and they gave the same PR response they've been giving for the past 5 years.
Thanks to you, I was able to finish.
Which basically means nothing.
I just paint for fun in my spare
Yeah.
time. My real job is here, working as the curator. Why don't you take a look around?
Like, as far as more neglected Capcom franchises, like Darkstalkers hasn't had a new entry since 1998.
Yeah.
Rival Schools is not available on modern platforms. Power Stone's most recent port was on the PSP.
You will? Great. Thanks.
God, what else? Beautiful Joe has never been ported to anything except the PS2.
Oh,
Like, there are a shitload of Capcom franchises that are in worse states than Mega Man because at least Mega Man's mostly available in easily accessible forms on modern systems. But that doesn't mean you can't still complain about how they treat their mascot IP.
right.
It comes off to me as like, oh, you're not allowed to be depressed about stuff going on in your life because there are children starving in third world countries. Like, yeah, those other people have it worse. That doesn't mean you're not allowed to feel bad.
Right.
Comes off as like I say that as someone who was told that all the time growing up.
Yeah, that's a pretty shitty thing to tell people.
Another Ada snake from you. All right. I'll try and do that. Let me drink some water first because my throat is a little bit dry. Also, thank you for sending me the jiggle action from ZZZ. I will check that out when I get the chance, which will probably be after stream. Also, peep the updated stream schedule because I was like half asleep when I made the one that I posted last night and accidentally put a stream on Thursday instead of Friday. So I've updated it. So no Thursday stream because I've already dedicated Thursdays to not streaming because of my nausea. So, nausea from the medicine I take every Wednesday. So, it'll be Friday is when we're gonna do Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Anyways. Another Ara. That's what you want, isn't it, Lulu? I hope this satisfies you. It sounded a little bit more like nasally this time, because I've got a little bit of congestion. Not like getting sick or anything, it's just I'm very sensitive to pollen, and since fall's right around the corner, that's going to be ramping up around here.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for fall, but not for the...
I'm excited for fall just because the temperature's hopefully going to go down to reasonable levels, because it's been, like, regularly hovering around 100 degrees here for the past few months.
Yeah, here it's been actually kind of coolish, but like it was murder like almost all of July.
Okay, so for our first TV show minigame, we have to kick the ball at the dog and score enough points within the time limit. And there's multiple ranks to this. So I want 1,000 zenny for that on the easiest rank. This time we have to get 12. And I think you also have less time with each rank? Or am I thinking about the balloon minigame? I think I'm thinking about the balloon minigame. Also, kicking the pup at the dog gets you bonus points. And hitting the flashing dog that runs by really fast also scores you bonus points, with the highest point multiplier you can get being from kicking the pup at the flashing dog.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so you don't get less time. It's always 30 seconds. It's just you have to score like 2 points higher each time. Okay. Tired, but that's like a catchphrase for you. Yeah, that's you do tend to be pretty tired because you work a very strenuous job. Also, hi, Red Wing. Hope you're doing... I see that you're doing all right, and that makes me happy to hear. Thank you for joining us last night. That was a lot of fun. I haven't really... That was like my first extended time talking to you outside of like when I first joined the Earthfall server. It was a nice chat.
So yeah, Red, if you really hate clowns so much, well, wait till you get a load of me.
You know what you need to do if you hate clowns to keep the clowns away? You just need to surround yourself with Tangelos. I learned that from Billy and Mandy. Clowns hate Tangelos. It messes with their equilibrium.
Never heard that one, but okay.
There was a whole episode of Billy and Mandy dedicated to Billy's fear of clowns. And he was convinced by a Tangelo salesman that Tangelos ward off clowns.
Oh, jeez.
That episode's also got some of the most quotable lines in Billy and Mandy. Like, when he's talking to his inner frat boy to get advice on how to overcome his fear. And, like, his frat boy convinces him, you shouldn't be afraid of clowns. You should hate them. You should be angry at them. Okay, so we got the best reward, which is the Zet Saber, which is a mistranslation. It's supposed to be the Z Saber from Mega Man X. As in Zero's saber. Because you also get a part, later on called the X-Buster. And that's a translation error that they don't just make in this game. It returns in Mega Man Legends 2.
Oh, boy.
I understand how that error happened. It's because of how the letter Z is said in Japanese. Like, America's basically the only country that says Z instead of Z. And because of how Japanese structure works for basic, not just, regular Japanese words, but for Japanese takes on foreign words, it's pronounced Zetto. So the Japanese name for the Z-Saber is the Zetto Saber. And the localizers looked at that, they saw Zetto Saber, it was a different localization team for this one than worked on the X series. So probably didn't trade notes with each other and went with Zet Saber instead of the established Z Saber translation.
I mean, I would understand, like, it would just go, like, Zed Saber, even.
Well, Japanese doesn't have... Part of how Japanese works is that every word has to end with a vowel sound. And also, they don't have, like, a sound in their language for words that end in the letter D. They use, like, TTO most often.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the closest they have in their language to it. I should know, I've been slacking off on studying Japanese. I know a phrase you should never say when you go to Japan.
That is?
And that's, watashi wa baka gaijin desu.
Which means?
I am a stupid foreigner. It literally translates to, like, gaijin is a word that has a different connotation in Japanese. Like, it's not, like, literally someone from a different land. It's, like, specifically to refer to, like, people from another country that you don't want there. Like, the closest equivalent in English other than foreigner would be, like, alien.
Oh.
Like, in terms of the connotation that's used in.
Yeah.
Like, it's used derisively to refer to foreigners. Like, it's not a slur. It's just like, when someone says it, you can tell they don't want you there.
Right.
Also, you might notice I'm pretty sure you, recognize some of the classical music that's used in these minigames, don't you?
Of course I do.
Like, the one here, of course, is, I believe, the Blue Danube.
I don't
Or at
know
least
if
a
that's-
movement of it. You don't get to hear the whole thing, because
This is
the
actually,
minigame's over too quickly.
This is from the Nutcracker, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I get this
I know
confused
it's-
with the Blue Danube a lot.
yeah. No, being someone who, like, grew up loving the Nutcracker, I recognize that anywhere.
So you you grew up loving busting nuts?
I'm not even gonna dignify that. What an answer.
That was too easy. Even I feel ashamed of that one.
You can do better than that, Ari.
I can and have done better than that, but I'm not on my A game tonight. Like, when I say I'm not on my A game tonight, it's not like I'm feeling bad or anything. Whoops, accidentally quit. Bustin' makes him feel good. Yep, there we go. There's the redeem. There you go.
What is wrong?
Yeah, I knew someone was going to redeem that as soon as the subject of bustin' came up. Bustin' by Neil Cicierega. Everyone should have that on their playlist. Everyone should just have all of Neil Cicerega's mashup albums on their playlist. They're almost all bangers, and the ones that aren't bangers are at least what the fuck worthy enough to still garner a listen. Yeah, rank A of this game takes me a while to beat every time. Because it's damn near luck-based, because the balloons bounce in random patterns.
Yeah.
You know, almost like they have physics or something. Ah, one away from winning. 2 away from winning. And we're not going to be able to do the final of these mini games until we get the jet skates. Which probably, I don't think we get all the parts for those until after the second dungeon, which is coming up. Fun fact, the jet skates are actually entirely optional. But they're a good piece of equipment to have just for getting around quicker. Like, most of the upgrades you get for Mega Man in this game are optional. Like, you can go the whole game without getting the helmet. Like, I like to get the helmet because it helps protect against fall damage. Yeah. But I don't like the way the helmet looks on this Mega Man in particular. This is the only time I will say that I prefer a Mega Man design without the helmet. Because he's got such a distinctive hairstyle.
Right.
And because, you know, he starts without the helmet. Unlike the other Mega Man, where 9 times out of 10, either the helmet's a permanent picture, or you very rarely see them without it.
Yeah.
Like, X, you never see without the helmet. We don't even know if he has hair under there.
Right.
EXE doesn't have a removable helmet.
Yeah, he has, like, that, yeah, he's got, like...
He has hair sticking out of it, so it's implied that there's something under there, but due to being, like, a digital program, we don't get to see him remove the helmet. Like, actually, now that I think about it, the only other Mega Man that we regularly see without a helmet is Classic.
Yeah.
And even then, it's only 9 times out of 10, it's only in cutscenes. There's only like 1 or 2 games, I think, where you can play him without his helmet. It's like 9 and 10, I think, have the helmet, the option to play without the helmet as something you can buy in the upgrade shop.
Nice.
And that's, of course, not counting cartoon depictions of Mega Man, because we see plenty of Ruby Spears Mega Man without his helmet. And even though I've never seen Fully Charged, I know you get plenty of... he's not called Rock in that show, he's called Aki. But you see plenty of him without his helmet.
Yeah, and with NT...
Did you know his name in Japan is Rockman? Yep, that is what... I first learned that from... like, I was into Mega Man for a while before I started learning about, like, the history of the series. Which I did through a long defunct video game magazine called Game Now that I had a subscription to. they had a Mega Man 15th anniversary special issue, where they had like a whole section of the magazine dedicated to like a timeline of Mega Man up to that point, as well as talking about games that never got released in the West. And one of the things they talked about was how Mega Man Japan is called Rockman. Like a lot of the character names in the Japanese version are like musical motifs. Finally won this. And a lot of that was lost in translation. Like some of them keep it, like Rush, Roll, Bass and Treble, although in Japanese they have different names. Duo, Tango, who the fuck remembers Tango, because I think Tango's only appeared in the Game Boy games that just recently got a re-release on Switch Online. God, what's the name of Dr. Wily's bird that shows up sometimes? Oh yeah, and of course Beat. I'm trying to remember the name of Dr. Wily's sort of counterpart to Beat. It's like Beat if he were a crow instead of just a standard bird. He only shows up a couple times, mostly in comics and manga. But I can't remember his name. But yeah, in Japanese, one of the biggest losses in translation for the name change from Rockman to Mega Man is, Rockman and his sister Roll, Rock and Roll, and the predecessor to them, the Japanese name for Proto Man, was blues, just like how blues music was the predecessor to rock and roll music. Yeah. See, it works as a theme. But again, all that got lost in translation.
Yeah.
Because the reason they decided to call him Mega Man, have a good night, Shadow Dragon. The reason that they decided to call him Mega Man in the West is twofold. And I say twofold because you get different answers depending on who you ask. But the two main answers we get are that Capcom's VP of marketing in the US at the time thought that Rockman was a stupid name that would never sell, and came up with Mega Man because it's supposed to be like, he's like Superman, but he's better than Super, he's Mega.
What do you say?
And the other reason that gets circulated a lot, but I don't think we've got official confirmation on, is that Rockman, like, since this was the late 80s when it came out, rock is a slang term for crack cocaine. And Capcom USA was allegedly a little hesitant on calling their new mascot platformer game Rockman during the epidemic of crack being introduced to the US.
Yeah.
But again, that one hasn't been confirmed, but the first one has. So, take that second one with a grain of salt.
Fair.
Anyway, here's where we're gonna get our boat. Did you see the name of the boat store?
I did not.
I say boat store because, like, it is a store that sells boats. It's not off. Usually you would call this like a port or a dock or something, but no, it's like they sell boats. So what would you call it?
Oh, God. Boat Depot or something like that?
Wiley's Boats.
God damn
And
it.
look at the proprietor of this establishment.
Oh, no.
But don't worry, he's a good guy. He's just an average citizen.
For now, anyway.
Nah, this is the only game he shows up in.
Huh.
He's a descendant of Dr. Wily, which has its own unsettling implications because it implies that Dr. Wily procreated. But also, it shows that, like, you know, somewhere along the line, they decide, no, we're not going to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah.
Like, I'm overthinking it, definitely, because a lot of the, like, throwbacks to classic era and X series Mega Man is just, like, you know, little lore in jokes. But canonically, this does take place at the very end of the Mega Man timeline. You know, outside of the Battle Network and Star Force series, because those are in their own split timeline. Because, for those of you that aren't as autistically obsessed with Mega Man as I am, the difference between, like, the Battle Network timeline that leads into Star Force and the Classic Series timeline all boils down to, like, whether technology branched in the direction of robotics or in the direction of the internet. With the main timeline being the robotics timeline and the Battle Network Star Force timeline being the net timeline. Anyways, yeah, this is our Mega Man with his helmet. I don't think it looks as good.
Yeah.
But it serves a practical purpose in gameplay for once.
I mean,
it's mainly, like, it's hard to get a good view of him from the front, or even from the side, but it's got this big forehead protector on it.
Oh, I've never noticed that.
Like, all of the Mega Man helmet designs are subtly different from each other in their own unique ways, with this Mega Man's having, like, a big plate on the front of it that's supposed to protect his head. Which, you know, the helmet already protects his head, so I feel like that's a little... like putting a Band-Aid on top of a stitch. A stitched-up wound. I don't know where I'm going with that. I wanted to say Band-Aid on a bullet hole, but no, that's the wrong phrase.
Almost done with this thing, then I'll have, you will have my full undivided attention as soon as I'm done with this. So I am...
Excellent.
Quit stealing my stick. That's my gag.
Yeah, just like you stole my gag about pegging.
Touché.
Alright, so we have one boat here. Like, the only thing that's wrong with it is it needs a new refractor. And we happen to have a refractor that's the perfect size. Specifically, the yellow refractor we got from the last dungeon. And yeah, I'm getting more frame drops tonight. Nothing I can really do about that except bitch and moan.
Yeah.
There.
But the good thing is, since I'm also doing a local recording of each of my streams, you can see them in their full frame rate without drops on the VOD.
Nice.
On YouTube, at least.
That's good.
Mega Man, could you hand me a wrench? Just a sec, Roll.
For the record, there is sort of a Dr. Light equivalent, but we won't meet him until Legends 2.
There we go, all fixed. Whoops. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just started fixing the ship and...
You really love machines, don't you? I can tell just by looking at your face.
Well, your face. It's covered with grease.
I'm glad
I blame this game in particular for starting my, let's say, fascination with the whole wrench-wench archetype of characters, where it's like, you know, the female mechanic that's not afraid to get themselves dirty while fixing machines.
Let me know when you
I
were
blame
on
this
Island.
and partly not me getting into this series, but being around people that were obsessed with Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah.
And nowadays that's being continued by Grace from Zenless Zone Zero.
That knows.
All right, before we go out on this boat, it's about time I built some new special weapons, because as it turns out, landmines are not very effective when you're fighting on a boat.
Yeah.
Someone is messaging up a storm. Let me see what this is. Okay, it's a mix of stuff from Lulu and stuff in our group chat, because I just saw I had like 9 pings on Discord.
Oh shit.
I was like, okay, someone's trying to get in touch with me.
Sorry. Sorry, dude.
It's okay.
I figured since you're streaming, you can't exactly answer the DM, so I was just.
Yeah, but when I get that many, it's like, okay, I need to check this.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the grenade arm. There's also the girl from My Hero. Still haven't seen that. Let's see. We got the Machine Buster.
I likes me some machine guns.
We got the Vacuum Arm, which is actually one of the best special weapons in the game. It's not an offensive weapon, but it's great for sucking up Zenny.
Is that what they call it now?
We got the Jump Springs, which allows us to jump higher. And that is a required upgrade to get.
Oh, yeah.
And in Legends 2, you just start out with it as part of your base moveset. Alright, let's see here. Landmines are no good. So I'm thinking the Machine Buster. I'm probably not going to need it for the fight we're about to do, but fuck it.
We ballin'?
Fuck it, we ball.
Nice.
And I might as well enhance the Machine Buster a bit while I'm here. And let's see, up its range. Up its attack power. Oh, it's maxed out range. Okay. Increase ammo count. And rate of fire. That should be good for now. All right, we're about to enter a pretty long sequence that is very easy to game over on if you're not prepared. This sequence kicked my ass all the time as a kid because I did not know how to properly prepare yourself for it. Because this was in the day where, like, I didn't have easy access to guides and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of playing it blind. And I'm happy to say I got further in this game than I thought I would as a kid, without any kind of guides to help me. But we're definitely gonna save, because as is typical of Capcom games of the era, if you die, you're sent back to the title screen.
Yep.
And I don't want to lose an hour's worth of progress.
Oh, hell no.
I've done that before. It's not fun.
Nope.
You know what else is not fun? That's happened to me several times when I try to play this on hard mode, which hard mode's unlocked after you beat the game once. Getting all the way to the Teasel fight without saving, dying at Teasel, and then having to start the entire game over again from the beginning.
Well, shit.
I'm picking something up on the sonar.
And there is a benefit to playing on hard mode. If you play on hard mode, and beat the game, you unlock easy mode, which the difference between easy and the normal difficulty that the game starts on is you start with a buster part that maxes out all of your buster stats at once. And that's the only way to get it.
Red wants to know if he can hop in.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
He should be on momentarily.
The trick here is you have to be aware of your surroundings, which I am frequently not. And you have to keep the ship from blowing up.
Welcome, Red.
Welcome.
Why is it calling everybody else? What the hell?
I don't know.
I'm confused all of a sudden. It's like calling everybody. And I'm like, no, stop. Oh, I think I see what's going on. Red, you're on your PS. Oh, you're on your PlayStation, aren't you?
If you're talking, we can't hear you, Red.
I'm getting multiple signals on my sonar.
My actual microphone was muted. I'm stupid.
From around this
It's okay. I do shit all the time.
Ay. But yeah, what's up?
they're above us.
I'm playing Mega Man Legends. That's what's up.
I see.
This was actually, I don't know how familiar you are with Mega Man, Red. This was actually
Not
my first Mega Man game.
super.
You know, not the best introduction to the Mega Man series, because none of the other games play
probably not.
like the Legend series. But I still treasure it because it's such a fantastic game on its own.
Yeah. Whatever's your cup
And
of tea, man.
Capcom's too cowardly to continue it.
Yeah, that's Capcom for you.
Like, Capcom is in an era where they're making, like, nothing but bangers. The problem is, they're only making bangers out of the same 3 franchises every year. And, like,
that they're
once
doing.
in a while, they'll do something new, but then they won't market it because it's not an established IP. Like, Kunitsugami,
Yeah,
I've
it's-
heard, is a fantastic game, but they did nothing to promote it.
It's really just Street Fighter and Devil May Cry that I see these still make.
Well, they haven't made a new Devil May Cry game in, like, 5 years.
Not for a while, but it's like they did like a mobile thing that got like a lot of like attention.
Yeah. And apparently that mobile game is complete ass.
Yeah, it's dog shit.
Which I figured Devil May Cry on mobile was not going to be good.
It's not gonna translate well. Though there was something they announced, which is like a fighting collection of like the early, like
Yeah, the,
X-Men Street
Cap-
Fighter games. Yeah,
Yeah, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. That's a big deal.
that I'm excited for. Yeah,
I'm excited for that too. I have easy access to all those games already, but like this is them
lucky.
getting re-released is not something that happens often because Disney's involved now.
yeah.
So I'm definitely picking that up when it comes out, even though I've never really been one for Capcom's fighting games.
Yeah, they're definitely acquired taste.
I wouldn't even really call them an acquired taste because they're like the default of fighting games.
Yeah, they're
It's just
They're up there.
like the it's just that all their fighting games play like a variant of Street Fighter, and I don't like how Street Fighter plays.
It's definitely easier with like a fight stick. Like I played an arcade cabinet of MVC1, and it's a lot easier to get the hang of the controls there.
Yeah. Well, any arcade fighting game is going to be easier with an arcade fight stick, because that's what
Yes,
it was built around, not console controls.
Yeah, which is like
Especially when it comes to games with weird controls like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat's better on controller.
Like the arcade ones play better with an arcade fight stick.
The arcade ones, yeah, but like
the ones that, you know, from Deadly Alliance onward play better on controller. Because they were built for consoles.
They're built for
instead of arcades.
I'm getting shot at.
Anyways, if you're at all familiar with Marvel vs. Capcom, you'll be happy to hear that Mega Man Legends is the game that introduced Tron Bonne.
I don't recognize that.
Not him, as her older brother Teasel Bonne, but you'll probably... There she is.
Oh, yeah, her, yeah.
Won't the keys go down?
She's the only thing, aside from the Servbots, which are like the sort of mascot mook of this franchise, that have made it outside of, you know, unable to be re-released purgatory. Because Capcom loves to make Servbot merchandise, and Tron's been a fixture in Marvel vs. Capcom for a while, ever since 2.
Little brat dies. I shouldn't.
But these games are not easily available on modern platforms. The last time they got a wide re-release was on the PS3, which you can still get those thanks to the PS3 store still being up. But they're more expensive than the other PS1 games available on the PS3 store. Like $10 a pop instead of $5.99.
Yeah.
Because the thing that kept them getting re-released was rights issues due to, like, back in the 90s and the 80s, video game companies would often use copyrighted imagery in their games without any regard to copyright law, especially in their marketing.
It wasn't as easily noticeable without the internet.
And in Mega Man Legends' case, the first game specifically uses some copyright imagery from some Japanese brands. And like, the reason it took them so long to get re-released on PS3 specifically, because this was before they started doing the Legacy collections, was Sony has this stupid rule with PS1 re-releases that they have to be completely unaltered from their original printings, which means that Capcom was not allowed to just go in and change some textures to remove the copyright imagery.
Oh, jeez.
So it took them until like 2013 to get these re-released.
Ari, I'm gonna send you the pictures before I put them in the fan art channel because I want your approval on these before I just up and put
Pictures
them out
of
there.
what? You're not sending me porn on stream, are you?
I'm sending you the design that I came up with for your devil form.
Okay. My devil
Just
trigger
kinda-
form.
Yeah, kind of like.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I very much like this. I know that Batwings are hard to do on Hero Forge, but I'm liking this.
Nice. Glad you do.
I like that you, like, without showing these to the public just yet, which I need to catch up on showing people fan art on a fan art segment. I like that you went with a more robotic design for the wings, playing into the fact that I'm supposed to be a cyborg.
Yeah, like I was like,
I like that.
The first model I made didn't look too cyborgish, so I was like, the only thing I did was the eyes, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? No, make it better looking.
Kamen Rider.
Make it look like, you know, epic.
But yes, I approve.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Like a Devil Trigger form if it had Gundam wings.
Yes.
That sounds so badass.
It is.
Like an organic Death Scythe hell.
Basically, yeah. Like, I'm not too familiar with Gundam because I've built a few model kits, and I've seen a bit of the original Mobile Suit Gundam. It's just I'm really bad at sitting down and watching shows.
A good one is Mobile Fighter G Gundam. That's a good one.
I've heard G Gundam recommended by other people as well as a good starter series. Like, technically, my introduction was SD Gundam Force because it aired on Toonami during a time slot where I could actually catch it. So, you know, the worst way to be second worst way to be introduced to Gundam.
Yeah, the worst way would probably be porn.
Actually, without saying that, I was going to say the worst way to be introduced to Gundam would be the American-developed FMV game Mobile Suit Gundam 0079 The War for Earth. The only Gundam game to be developed by an American studio and the first piece of Gundam media to be released in America. And it's fucking horrible.
Like the first America-made Godzilla movie?
Not even like that, because it's kind of an accurate adaptation of at least the first bit of Mobile Suit Gundam. Like the first 2 or 3 episodes. But, it's, the translation's wonky. The gameplay itself, the gameplay mechanics are inherently flawed because, it's not very good at, it's an FMV point-and-click adventure game, basically, but it's not very good at conveying what you need to point and click on and when, and a lot of things require, like, frame-perfect clicks, or else you just instantly die.
That does not sound fun.
Rerez has a good video on it. Also, the version of Char in that game is kind of funny because it's like the cheapest Char costume that they made. Like, you can tell that part of his helmet is just recycled from a Darth Vader helmet. They went with technically an accurate pronunciation of Char's name, but it just sounds wrong being spoken like that. They call him Char. Which, that is an accurate localization of how it's spelled in Japanese. It's just not what we know him as now. And there's other weird bits of, like, translation fuckery in there due to there not being an established terminology for everything. Like the Zaku's being called Zax, or, the Principality of Zeon being called the Duchy of Jean.
Oh, yeah. That's bad.
Status report! This is the engineer reporting. Our engines are completely offline.
But yeah, I just beat that boss fight, no problem. And that boss fight gave me so much trouble as a kid all the time, because I never realized, oh, hey, you can just put all of your buster parts into power and range and just mow this down in a few seconds.
Yeah.
All hands! Abandon ship!
Bye-bye, Froggy.
Bye-bye, Froggy!
Bye, Froggy!
So, God, I hate the fact that Teasel's voice actor does such a good job through this series, because he was a horrible person in real life.
Oh, no, I hate when that happens.
Like, the Legend series was, like, the only voice acting he was known for, thankfully. But, the other thing he's known for is spending most of the rest of his life in prison for CP charges, and then dying of COVID.
All right.
With a new plan.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to turn on my PlayStation and switch to my computer.
The spirit. Thanks, you two. Now, I couldn't have asked for a better brother and sister than you. We'll get that blue
So, like,
boy
it,
next
you know, I would love to see this game get a remake in the style of, like, the Resident Evil remakes. Less so in the style of the Dead Rising remake, because that looks to be... The more we see of it, the less good it looks. But, like, I would love to see a new take on Teasel just so we can have someone to praise that doesn't have so much problematic stuff connected to them.
Not only would I be fascinated by the idea of a remastered or like just rebuilt Mega Man Legends from the ground up game, like just the designs in general. Like I would love to see these designs in like HD.
Yeah, because the way that they built the character models in this game makes the graphics age really well compared to a lot of other stuff from this era.
Right.
Like, it's all down to, it's basically all down to the way that they utilize textures, making them look more cartoony and using, like, mouth flaps and more anime-styled expressions for, dialogue scenes, rather than having fully modeled mouth movements or going the Metal Gear Solid route of just not having faces at all. Like, a lot of people say, oh, the PS1 generation, the graphics aged like milk. I'm like, nah, Legend still looks good. Especially if you play it on emulator and clean up the image a bit. It looks damn near close to a more modern-style indie game.
Yeah.
It helps that the art design was directly inspired by Studio Ghibli. Specifically the movie Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
Like, you can I haven't seen Castle in the Sky, but to my understanding, you can especially see the Castle in the Sky inspiration in the Reaverbot designs.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. Oh, I forgot to equip the jump springs.
Ate dinner.
How was it? What'd you have?
I had authentic Indian curry. I don't know exactly where from India it's from, but it's really good.
Nice. I've never had curry before. I don't do well with spicy food. I have a low tolerance for it. I'm trying to remember what there's a term in Japanese for people that are sensitive to spicy food. I'm trying to remember what it is. Oh yeah, no, I remember.
forgot what it is too.
It's called having a cat tongue.
A cat tongue?
Yes.
Hmm.
I don't know. Don't ask me why. I just know that's what they say in Japan for, like, if you can't handle spicy food, they say you have a cat's tongue.
Hey, is it going red?
Hey.
Has he been on the live stream the whole time, or are you just joining now?
He just joined a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, Mega Man has his helmet.
Helmet. Yeah. Yep. I actually had it built last time I streamed this. I just forgot to equip it.
That makes sense.
Because the helmet's a option. The helmet's a completely optional upgrade in this game.
Really?
Because like, Mega Man starts without his helmet in this game, and all the helmet does is protect you from fall damage.
I would imagine that would be pretty helpful.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's not many places that are high enough to give you fall damage.
Okay.
So it's mostly, like, up to a cosmetic thing. I just like to, get it, because I like to do a completionist run on Mega Man Legends.
Alright. Well, how was your guys' day, by the way?
I slept in too late. did a quick grocery run before it started storming.
What did you find?
All right.
From these
I
readings,
pretty
it
much
looks like a
just
spider
kind of
seed.
I had lunch, had breakfast and lunch, and then just kind of dozed off for a couple of hours.
Good luck.
All right.
Didn't wake up again until like 5:30.
Must have been
There's
really tired.
non-spicy curry, says Kier. I'll have to give that a try. It depends on what's in the curry, because I know
Yeah.
curry can have all sorts of different stuff in it.
Like if you get
Yeah.
one of the coconut, like the coconut milk ones, like depending on, uh, where it is, where it's from, it's not very sad. Curry that's pretty, not spicy, and it's really good.
I also just don't think there's any places near me that sell curry. There's a couple Chinese places, but that's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like, but to answer your question, I was going off like maybe like 8 hours sleep total for the past couple of days.
I'm not picking up anything on my monitor.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
this illness has been driving me crazy. Whatever it is, it's been driving me nuts.
Did you get my package mailed today, or did it
That's
just
gonna
not work out?
That's gonna go on tomorrow because I'm going up to the school tomorrow for sure.
Okay.
So,
If you
how was your
guys in
first...
the audience are wondering what it is Coptimus Prime that JKR is sending me.
Yeah, the
IDW Orion packs when he was a cop.
IDW Orion packs, which you're not the first person I've heard call it Coptimus Prime, because that's basically
Well,
he
I
was
call
a
it
cop.
Coptimus because you said Coptimus.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know you got it from me. I got it from a friend of mine. He said that he and his friend always called IDW Orion packs Coptimus Prime.
I think that the first time we see that version of him is from Autocracy, I think is what it's from. Or is it further before that?
No,
I wouldn't
think
know.
that It's basically like it's the same design he had in, like, from what I understand, that is the like the official Orion Pax design. Like that was the first design he had when he first was proto-formed. So it's not like he's been augmented or anything. That's just his natural.
Well,
form.
no, we mean like when in IDW did he appear?
Yeah.
First
yeah.
appear.
No. As for first appearance, I think it may have been Chaos Theory, but it could have easily been like the Autocracy trilogy too. I don't remember for sure.
Yeah, I remember seeing that was my first exposure to that design was the Autocracy trilogy.
Yeah. Like, it's a good mold. I like it. And, you know, it was just one of the cases where I was like, you know, I had to sell it because, you know, I couldn't afford the whole pack myself.
Because money's a bitch.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight right now for everyone.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Transformers fan and collector.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Because the prices go up every year while the quality either stagnates or goes down.
Right.
Yeah.
Along with my
I
mental
mean,
state.
United has had some pretty solid figures.
I mean, like the build
Some-
quality and the QC to it.
Yeah.
It varies. You're right. It's not fantastic. Isn't
It's part of why I
bad,
stopped.
it's just
It's part of why I stopped collecting masterpieces. Because
Yeah, that just
I am not
declined
spending
really quickly.
upwards of like they're going for upwards of $200 on the regular now. And I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
paying that
Sticker mold
much
that
for
doesn't have a waist swivel.
I'm not paying that much for something that has less articulation than a chug and has such bad quality control that like it can break just through normal use.
Yeah,
I'm looking at you-
Cybertron.
I'm looking at you,
Starscream in my hand.
When I say it can break through normal use, I'm looking directly at that Masterpiece Lio Convoy.
Oh no!
I've heard horror stories about that. Yeah.
And who could forget
And,
the famous cardboard engineering of the redesigned Masterpiece Bumblebee.
Bumblebee, yeah.
Yeah, that was not good. Yeah, I was thinking that was going to be a lot better, but severely let down by that Bumblebee.
Even if it didn't just look good from directly on the front, not even slightly tilted at an angle, the face looks like shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
hell, the A1 collection Bumblebee that just came out in Studio Series looks better than that thing does.
Yeah,
and
it's
basically
significantly
has the same
cheaper.
Generation. What?
And it's significantly cheaper.
Yeah, it's like $25.
I'll be right
Man.
back. It looks like a poster of mine is trying to fall off the wall, even though I just fixed it 2 days ago.
Does it keep happening to you?
I have no fucking clue.
Why does
Have you
his arm
tried
keep
getting
popping
frames
off?
for them?
Yeah, well, this
Wait,
is the big
whose arm
plan.
keeps popping off?
I have Cybertron Starscream in my hand fiddling Legacy, and his right arm just keeps popping off the mushroom peg.
But yeah,
Like
Ari,
you mean the Armada Starscream?
No,
Nope,
Cybertron.
Cybertron.
Oh, the Cybertron one. Oh, okay.
Armada's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh yeah.
The
I was
only
thinking,
issue
like,
I have with at least my Armada Starscream is that there's something up with the head joint where it just won't sit straight, like facing straight.
Yeah,
it's always
you need
at it's always at a slight angle.
what you need to do with that is you need to just kind of okay, so you need to put up the null ray cannons like into like the G1 configuration, and then you need to just keep swiveling the head around in a 360 for about 2 or 3 minutes, and it should grind it down so that it fits a bit better.
I mean,
It's
in my
just a little
opinion,
too
if I'm
big.
paying, in my opinion, if I'm paying $30 or $40 for it, I shouldn't have to fix it.
It shouldn't be fixed.
Yeah, the QC on the Legacy Armada Starscream wasn't really great. Like some versions of it, the legs will fall off of those.
Oh yeah, the legs fall off all
mushroom
the time,
pegs.
but at least they're
Yeah.
easy to reattach.
Yes, that is true. That is
Mine
true.
actually, or I was lucky, mine don't really pop off.
Yeah, there's the occasional copy or two that doesn't have that problem, but a majority of them did. I should know since I've bought that figure like 5 times.
Yeah. Right as you finish doing a Thundercracker repaint.
Yeah.
Leaks
Oh,
of an
yes.
official one.
Spoiler alert for those of you that watch Earthfall. I actually custom painted a new Skywarp and Thundercracker for season 2. So look forward to that.
Yeah, my big issue with my Armada is just the hip joints are a little loose. That's that.
Yeah, the hip joints on that are pretty bad too. They just put a little bit of nail polish inside of that, and it should
I've done
strengthen
that
it
to
up
a
a
few
bit.
figures, but I really only do it with ball joints.
What's that?
I really only do that with ball joints, but like I've done that.
Not super glue. I'm not talking about super glue.
No, nail polish, nail
will do.
polish.
Nail polish isn't nearly as destructive as super glue.
No one
is.
brought
I know,
up
I know.
super glue, dude.
I didn't bring it up. I'm just saying I prefer to use it on ball joints because I'm scared I'm going to mess it up. I had to use it on Cybertron Hotshot because like his ball joints were really loose.
Are you talking about the original one?
Yeah, the original one.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking like I don't think that the Legacy one has ball joints.
I had to
don't
do
think
that
there's
on my Thrilling 30 Waspinator because that thing is like all ball joints, and
Yeah,
with
that
how
thing's
its
like all
transformation
ball
works,
joints.
those wear
Yeah.
down quick.
That's before they really went over to the universal joints. That's when they still kind of used ball joints.
The one benefit to that thing being like entirely comprised of ball joints that pop off easily due to age and wear is that it's more show accurate that he falls apart at the slightest touch.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That is
Maybe
my
they did
biggest
that on purpose. Yeah,
that is my biggest problem with the Kingdom Waspinator is that it doesn't, you can't disassemble it easily for show accuracy.
Why wasn't it always fall apart?
Why universe hate
Waspinator? Waspinator.
Why does universe hate Waspinator? Jesus Christ.
Poor Waspinator.
Because you're easy to destroy. That's why. That was like my best try at Dinobot, but I don't think it was that good.
Ah, God, I haven't done a Dinobot impression in a
Not as good as
while.
mine.
What?
I haven't done a Dinobot impression in a while. I'm out of practice
Like, I
on
know
it. Mostly
Scott
because it's
does,
a
like,
voice
weird,
that
like, growl
shreds
thing.
my vocal cords. But I could probably do it easier
Definitely
now.
does
Now
that.
that I could probably do it easier nowadays. Fuck
If
it, I'll give it a
if I
shot.
wasn't sitting down, I could probably do a better one because like my gravelly voice is much better when I'm standing upright.
Let me
Give me a Dinobot line to practice with. I'll give it a shot.
I just normally go to Vermin.
you if you let me be the leader of the Maximals.
I'll only join you if you let me be the leader of the Maximals.
You sounded more like Pterosaur.
Yeah, I was thinking you sound more like Pterosaur there.
Pterosaur doesn't have any graveliness in his voice.
He has
I
a
thought
little
he
bit.
did.
Pterosaur's more like in the Starscream range.
Yeah, he's definitely more Starscream, but he has a little, like, all the Beast War Preds have a little gravel to them. Like, some it's, like, more exaggerated, like Dinobots, some are subtle, like Megatrons.
Megatron doesn't really have that much gravel at all.
Megatron
Yeah,
doesn't
but with some
really.
words. To me, in some words, he does.
Only when he gets like really angry does he have a little bit of gravel in his voice.
Like the
That's
key
kinda what I was
to
getting at.
the key to doing a good Dinobot impression, not that one was any good. I acknowledge that. Because like I said, out of practice.
Although my voice sucks, here's how you do it.
Like the key is to like start everything with a growl before going
Yeah.
into the actual words. Because that's how
you're-
Scott
you're
McNeil
right.
did the voice.
What was the line
Yeah.
again? I want to try.
I think it's like, I'll only join you if you let me be the leader of the Maximals.
I'll only join you if you let me be the leader of the Maximals.
It's a little closer. You have
Yeah,
like a
you
little
got
bit of
that. You got
accent
more of that
to it,
bassy. You got you slipped a bit of an accent in there, but
Yeah,
you
my
got
bad.
that more bassy sound that Scott McNeil has.
Like, he rolls his R's with Vermin. That's kind of why I slip up.
Vermin. I'm out of practice and I'm congested, so I can't
I'm
get
also better
into
with,
my
like,
lower register.
animalistic noises that, since, as Chuck knows, than accents.
Oh yeah, he's got some really good Ben 10 character voices. Like do yeah, and he can do a pretty good dog barking. Do swamp fire transformation sound.
Oh, fire! What's that smell? Is that me?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot better than I can do. All I can really do is Humongosaur. And that's pretty much it.
I never really got
And
much
maybe
into
a little
Ben 10,
bit of
so
Wrath. A little bit of Wrath.
I never
as
really
well.
got much into
I didn't do that.
Ben 10. It was a little past my time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more my time.
Like I got a little bit into the original series. I fell off partway through Alien Force. Never watched Ultimate Alien, never watched Omniverse. But that wasn't due
yeah.
to, thinking it was
Omniverse
bad. It
is
was due to me
actually
just
pretty
not
good.
watching. It was due to me just not watching TV at the time, and I still
Yeah,
don't.
I don't either. Everything's streaming nowadays. But
Yep.
yeah, like
I don't even
I could
have
do, like,
cable.
like a lot. I like doing the Beast Wars cast because a lot of them have animalistic tendencies. Like
The
they
Beast
have
Wars
stuff
cast
with,
is
like-
just fun to do impressions of.
yeah, but also because like even in the robot mode, parts of their beast mode personalities shine
Oh
through.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Because like Pterosaur will go occasionally.
Like part of the reason I might have slipped into a pterosaur there is because I just can't remember what pterosaur sounds like because he's barely in the show.
Right.
He does like a
He has an episode where he gets like a bigger role in season 1.
yeah, and
But,
that's
like,
it.
That's it. He gets a spotlight episode, and then he's just relegated to being a mook, and then he dies.
The way he says "terrorize" is kind of fun. Like it's like
Yeah.
like he incorporates the
It's like it's a shriek.
Like terrorize.
Yeah, I used to be able to do Pterosaur's voice pretty well when I was younger. I could probably do it still. I just haven't done it in a long time, and I'm not going to do it right now because my throat's a little sore. But I could do a really good like Beast Wars Megatron.
Yeah,
actually.
don't shred your vocal cords right now, bud. You're good.
Yeah.
You don't have to hurt yourself. We know you're good.
I probably damaged my vocal cords so much as a kid just doing weird noises that I can do it now without really hurting myself.
Same, bestie.
Yeah.
The only time I've like damaged my
Same
vocal
here.
cords recently was during a charity stream where I had to stream for 6 hours straight to fill a time slot that
Jesus
we had someone
Christ.
drop out in. 6 hours straight that started at like midnight, so I didn't get to. It was for charity, and I was the only one that was around to fill in for it, and
Castle
I
in the
got
Sky
compensated
much?
for it. But it took me like a week to recover from how shredded my voice
I was going to say it looks like a
after that.
lantern, like one of those Japanese lanterns.
Probably intentional,
Yeah,
but I was saying earlier before
and it
you
makes
guys
it-
joined. Before you guys joined in, I was saying that a lot of the robot designs and ruin designs in this game were directly inspired by the movie Castle in the Sky.
Yeah, I was thinking it looks a lot like it.
You haven't
I
seen
love
it
that
yet.
movie.
Birdman. Peace mode.
It looks like you damaged it. Keep it up, my
Like,
We're all gonna die.
like, I haven't tried my take on like a David K. Megatron in a while. I do find that he varies up his performance a bit between like Unicron Trilogy Megatron and Beast Wars Megatron.
Yeah.
He hams it up more for Beast Wars Meg.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he does,
he
he's more
definitely hams it
theatrical
up a
for
lot.
Beast Wars, where he's more angriest man who ever lived in the Unicron trilogy.
Like from what I've heard, people actually compared his Unicron trilogy voice to how he portrayed Megatron in Beast Machines, which I do kind of see it.
Given that they were recorded basically real close to each other, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Or at least
Meg
Armada
does also
and
give me
Beast
a lot of
Machines.
like Doctor Doom vibes, where he's just like he just hates Optimus so much.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And you know,
I-
one of the really cool things about Armada is that it really goes into the, like, especially near the end of the show, it really goes into their rivalry, where Unicron basically reveals that Optimus, like, there's a small part of Optimus that enjoys
He enjoys fighting.
combat, and he enjoys fighting Megatron. And
see, that's
but
how
it's
you
not a
do the whole
majority of
you
him.
enjoy. That's how you do the whole Optimus kind of enjoys the fighting without just making him a full-on monster like he is in the Bay
without
films.
making him completely blood.
in the Bay films. Yeah, exactly. Give me your face.
Remember when he became Nemesis Prime for all of 5 minutes and there was no difference in his personality?
It's literally a mark on his face.
He has like a tiny little red mark on his face that's barely visible due to the shit color palette in that movie.
Right.
Yeah. I fucking hate I just hate Night Optimus. He's just a big
It's not a
blob of
good
blue.
design.
There's not there. He just doesn't look like Optimus. The only
Like,
thing that looks like Optimus
Like
is his
Optimus
helmet.
Prime. Optimus
It's his head,
Prime
that's
in
it.
most, if you're trying to do a G1 inspired incarnation instead of something radically different, like Fire Convoy, for example, should have a good mix of red and blue.
Still feels like
Fire
Optimus.
Convoy still feels like an Optimus design, but there's much
Dude,
more
even
red and
Armada
very little blue.
Armada Optimus is like one of the most like different looking Optimuses we've ever seen. Like,
and it
yeah,
still
sure,
feels like it still, you can still see the G1 in it.
yeah, you can, but like if you look at the chests of almost every single Optimus Prime, they almost all have windshield pecs.
Yeah,
And
they always got the truck tits.
but Optimus in Armada does not. He has the grill on his chest.
Yeah.
But he has it in his Cybertronian mode.
He does, yes, that is true. But it's
The Cybertronian mode that shows up for all of a few minutes.
like
2 minutes.
like
It's like 2
3
minutes.
minutes. It's like 3 minutes. We'll be generous.
And in Armada
like
Bridge, we cut
generous.
that down
We'll round
even
it up.
shorter.
Yeah. But like that is like seriously all that we get of the G1 inspired design for that series. And like the Armada design is actually my favorite of all time because it's the most different.
Yeah.
Like out of all of the Unicron trilogy, almost all of the Optimuses look G1 inspired except for Armada Optimus. The only G1 aspect of him is his helmet. And that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Everything
Like,
else about him is so different.
I'm of two minds about the Armada's designs for the characters specifically. Like, it's not that I dislike them. I think they're really cool for the most part. Vehicle designs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really badass looking machines. But how the hell is that going? How the hell is that supposed to be a disguise when it sticks out like a sore thumb?
Well,
It doesn't look like anything that's on the road.
Well, if you did watch
you can
the
say the
show,
same thing for
he does
Cybertron
scan.
Optimus.
He
He's a
scans an
fire truck with
actual truck
kids on
and he
the
turns
back.
it into that thing.
Well, I mean, at least the cab looks the same, but
The cab does, but the trailer fucking no.
It looks like something from like a on the road fair is what it looks like.
It looks like
honestly.
if it were just a little bit more banged up, it would look like something out of Mad Max.
Yeah. You can say the same thing for his Cybertron design too.
That's my headcanon for the Nemesis Prime Deco. Like a banged up version of his lower half.
Yeah, something that's seen some shit out there in battle.
Yeah, because in the show we don't see Nemesis Prime in his well, we see him in vehicle mode, but we don't see him with his trailer because
Actually, he does have his trailer in that shot. It's just hard to see.
he does.
He
Yeah,
does.
Very
like,
briefly, but
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
there.
so not the focus of that scene that it's easy to forget it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Do
he's
the
like-
monkey with me.
Yep. I'm
he's
glad
got,
someone
like,
else had the
this,
same thought as me about Data's little dance.
Well, you mentioned it last time. I was on the
I
live.
forgot you
was
were on
watching
it
the
last
live
time
stream.
because it's been so long
Yeah.
since I've streamed this.
I mean, I wasn't on it. I wasn't like one of the commentators, but I was watching.
You were in the
Okay.
chat, yeah.
I was in the chat. Yeah.
I have what Strong Bad calls a very unphotographic memory. It's a doodle memory.
I have a doodle memory.
You got a goldfish
Like, I
brain.
remember things that happened, but they're so undetailed that a lot of it is incorrect.
Yeah, like my memory where it's like where his is like, a doodle memory, mine is more like fragments. I remember things, but I can't remember who I told what.
Yeah, that. There's also,
Also,
a
a
good
thing
amount of
for,
visual storytelling in Armada.
There it really
Talking-
is.
Talking about the game here, I like that there's a naming theme to all of the Bond family's creations, even their big flying ship. They're all German names or terminology.
He won't lead us to the treasure. No one will.
Their ship is called the
this is girl that's
Gesellschaft.
in Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Tron Bond is one of the mascot characters of this franchise, more so than Mega Man himself.
What if he digs up a few scraps here and there? He can
How old is
but-
she supposed to be again?
after his wedding
14.
for the main gate.
That makes sense.
He's up.
Like, she's supposed to be the same age as Mega Man and Roll,
Then that
and they're
will be
both
our new
14.
plan. We'll wait for him to open the main gate.
Like,
Which
I
makes it
just
a little
noticed-
weird that in Legends 2 she gets some fan servicey stuff.
He'll see. It'll be the bonds who
Again,
will laugh
Japan.
this game.
Yeah.
But like a cool bit of visual storytelling, I actually just noticed during the fight with Megs, where you were talking about Unicron's, like you enjoy the fight, right? He looks a bit more like Nemesis than he does his normal self.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
because
he really.
he's got
Optimus
that new
really does
black
look
and red
like him.
redeco.
He's got red eyes too. If you didn't recognize.
Right.
I think it was
Yeah.
like they also based the deco off of Beast Wars Primal. I think they based it off Primal.
I think they
The color
did.
design.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It might be. I see a little bit of Laser Optimus Prime in that color scheme too.
Yeah, definitely.
one thing
Yeah, a
about
little bit of
though,
that.
is, like, I never understood where specifically that color scheme came from. It was just like it was only his color scheme in the final battle
That's it.
between him and Galvatron. That was it. But I was
Yeah,
like,
'cause-
how the hell did he obtain? Because I see it 1 minute.
It was
he's,
it was an upgrade from like it was like a power upgrade. Which
Yeah,
in the
Unicron,
Unicron
like-
trilogy meant you get a new color scheme. You get a new color scheme. You get a new color scheme.
Yeah,
To show
You
that
get a
you're
new
stronger.
mold. You get a new mold. You get a recolor.
basically what happened is I think that like a bunch of them all got like really battle damaged on a.
Yeah,
on
they
a-
got real battle damaged, and then they got like their power boost that fixed them and happened to give them new colors that could also
Yeah.
serve as a refresh. for their
Hotshot was
figures.
recolored into Hot Rod.
Yeah, so
Which
it was like
The only one who
fixes
got like
Galvatron
a
what he was
full-on
in
new
Japan.
design
It
was
Hot Rod in Japan.
yeah, the only one that got a full-on new design was, of course, Smokescreen being turned into Hoist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like literally the only one that got a new mold.
Okay,
Yeah.
And then we get to
But yeah.
Cybertron with the Vanguard team.
You grab that blue lever there.
Yeah, but then there's like for that scene, it's like the ones who were damaged the most and were actually in that fight: Megatron, Starscream, Demolisher, Hotshot.
I look like Thundercracker.
I look like Thundercracker.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, Optimus, like he gets his power, like he gets his quote unquote power up, in right after the events of them destroying Unicron's heart.
Come on, fly.
After that whole
Flying.
after freaking Unicron was telling them, it's like, Optimus, you love the smell of battle. Maybe it was just a case of like maybe Unicron was just doing that as like a final fuck you to him, just to prove his point.
flying.
I don't know,
Well, I still have a lot.
because I'm trying to figure out story for the like the overall story reason that was the thing.
The problem is you're trying to make sense out of Armada's story.
Armada doesn't
Yeah.
really make that much sense.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's some stuff that makes sense here and there.
There is stuff that's clearly built up and has a payoff, but part of it is you're trying to make sense of its story through the English dub.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
During Warren broadcast, with the combination of Jetfire, he was called Jet Convoy. You heard
Yeah.
Gary Chalk call him that.
They've actually gone back in the more recent Shout Factory DVDs and re-recorded some lines to fix errors that were there before. I confirmed that for Chris McFeely when he made a tweet about that, asking if anyone had proof that happened. I supplied him with the clip from one of the episodes in question where it's the episode where Smokescreen is rebuilt into Hoist. They re-recorded like basically all of the first dialogue of that episode to fix a lot of errors. It's mostly like, sadly, they didn't do it for the whole series. It's mostly towards the end of the show that they started re-recording stuff.
Hey, sorry
But
guys, I got disconnected.
Oh,
It's
we
okay. I
didn't
was
know.
getting ready to wrap
didn't
things up
notice.
anyway, because I've got a headache. And we've
Oh,
also reached a
sure.
good stopping point. Because we finally
Acting
rebuilt
monkey,
our
acting
ship.
monkey.
Ah,
Yay!
And I can't just make a save state because I'm playing this on an actual PS1.
Oh wow!
Granted, it's a PS1 that's been modded to replace the disk drive with a Terra Onion mode, and I'm playing these off of an SSD. So, like, basically it's because PS1s, due to their age, their disk drives are starting to fail. So I got a PS1 modded to use a thing that can read hard drives, USB drives, and SD cards. So I can not only have something that's not going to break down as easily, as my childhood PS1 did, unfortunately. But also, I don't have to track down increasingly expensive secondhand PS1 games to play games that I want to play.
Yay!
I can just legally acquire some ROM files on totally legal websites.
Yeah, you listen, Twitch.
Completely legal.
Completely legal,
Completely
especially
legal.
since I own 2 copies of Mega Man Legends. I could just rip
Because that makes
rip
it
the
right,
files.
kids.
I mean, legally, you can just, if you have a copy of the game and you rip the files from the game itself, it is legal. That is legal, and emulation is legal too. That was decided by a court case where Sony lost.
Hallelujah.
But my lord.
Wait, they
Is that-
lost?
Yeah, it was a court case back in the 90s where they tried to sue a commercially sold emulator called Bleem that could play PS1 games on your PC. And Sony lost because, one, Bleem didn't infringe on any of their copyrighted code because it was coded from the ground up and did not use any of Sony's proprietary code that's in the PS1's hardware. And two, it required official copies of the games to play. You couldn't just play pirated games.
Okay.
And that
Yes,
was a landmark court decision that decided the legality of emulation in the modern day. And that was back in 1998, 1999.
Yeah, that Sony, you got too greedy.
And then as a final fuck you from the sole developer that made that emulator, he ported it to Sony's rival, the Sega Dreamcast. So you could play PS1 games on a Dreamcast.
My lord, is that legal?
Yes.
It's dubiously, it is technically legal. The best kind of legal.
Best kind of legal.
I would have been like, I will make it legal.
I was stuck between, is it technically legal or is it dubiously legal? The answer is yes.
Is it this or that?
Yes.
Yes.
Freaking smartass.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Oh
so switch back over here and get us out of the void. There we go.
Brain rot, brain rot, brain rot,
The
brain rot.
void, 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 void.
Void.
Let's see if there's any raid targets online tonight. Psionic Hex is streaming for once. We're going to raid him. He's streaming
do
Dead by
it.
Daylight. I don't think he has a mic right now, but still, I never get to raid him.
Yeah,
Let's do it quick. We got about a minute left before the ad kicks in.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you to my lovely co-host for joining me. Sorry for cutting this short. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, unpleasant... Wait, I forgot I got arms now. Unpleasant dreams.
Arms!
Whoa.
Oh, where am I?
Brilliant. 10 out of 10 musical
Brilliant.
performance. Simon
Fantastic
Cowell
work.
approves.
You